So, this is a review of the book The Fury by the renowned author Alex Michaelides. It's going to be a very comprehensive review about this very interesting book. Now, here is this book, and this book has been released in this year only. And this book is actually a murder mystery. So, before we go into how good this book is, should you buy this book or not? Let us first take a brief look at the author. The author Alex Michaelides is a Greek author. He studied at Trinity College from Cambridge University, and of course, he's very famous for the renowned, very famous novel, The Silent Patient. Now, in this novel, we see, as I've told you, it's a murder mystery, but see, it's more than a regular murder mystery. See, it's not a mere whodunit. So the objective is not just to find who did the murder, but the very interesting aspect of this book is why the murder was actually committed in the first place. What strong motivations were there? What strong emotions were there that drove a person to the extent to actually commit a murder? Here are the seven primary characters of this novel: Lana Farrar, Kate, Elliot, Nikos, Agathi, Jason, and Leo. That's the beauty of this novel. Now, should you buy this novel or not? Should you read this novel or not? Because reading a book takes considerable amount of time. So to do that, I will first explain to you some pros and then cons also. As I told you, this book has multiple characters, and the narrator, it is Eliot, he is also part of the story. Now, the pros are, the first pro is that the characters in this book are really well developed. See, there is a limited number of characters, and the limited number of characters ensure that each character has a very comprehensive background story. If you look at any of the characters, like for example, there's Eliot, Agathi, Lana Farrar, or anybody else, they're all very important characters, and you know their backstory. The character Leo here is not is a primary character, but is not as important as Lana Farrar or Kate or Elliot. But still, you will know about Leo. You will know about Nikos. You will know about what their background is, and their background story helps you understand their emotions. What's going through their mind? What are the emotions driving them? You will understand, right? The Nikos is actually the least focused character of this novel, the least focused primary character. But still, when you read the story about how his wife died and he has been alone ever since, you start understanding his actions, right? And of course, another beauty of the novel is that secondary characters are also there. For example, Bubbies, and they're also reasonably well described. Of course, no unnecessary excess uh, focus is on those characters. Going forwards, this is a very easy to understand novel. That's I really like about it. See, murder mysteries can, or mysteries of any kind, can often be very complicated in books, and that's why some people, not some people, but many people prefer movies and web series over the books. But in this book, the writing is very simple, very lucid. The vocabulary is very conventional. There is nothing unusual about it, so it's very easy to understand this. The comprehension is going to be very simple for you, and you're going to be enjoying it. So, language barrier, I don't think it is going to be there. If even if you have a reasonable amount of English speaking skills, you'll be able to understand this novel quite easily. Right. Further, the book is not monotonous. See, it's a novel, it's a murder mystery, and these murder mysteries can often be very monotonous because they tend to over explain things. However, this book, in this novel, the story fluctuates, the story shuffles among various characters, and there are different scenarios. The story does not revolve around one scenario for more than it's needed. So it's not monotonous, it's quite interesting. Your enthusiasm, your attachment to novel will be consistently there. There are subplots in this also. For example, Jason, when he loses, Jason, a grown-up man, he loses to a child Leo in a board game. It's quite interesting. The child Leo, the Lana Farrar is actually a famous actress in the story, and her son Leo, who is like 16, 17 years old, now he wants to also become an actor like her, but her mother is against it. It's actually a very interesting scenario if you see about it, and it's a very interesting secondary subplot. Now, also, The biggest pro of this novel is that this novel actually delivers on the story makes a promise that it is not just about the murder, it is about why the murder. So you will find out who did the murder. You will find out that there is a murder. You'll find out that's usual in any murder mystery. Of course, that's the very basic. If there is no murder and there is no murder, you will feel betrayed, right? But in this novel, the why the murder was committed, that is explained really well, and the motivation is there. It's not simple. Oh, yeah, you needed money, or for some, uh, financial purpose you did the murder. No, 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 no. That's more than that. There is a very strong set of emotions that goes into forcing a person to the extent that that person ends up murdering somebody else. And of course, there are going to be twists, and you won't be able to guess who did the murder. That's actually the best part about it. There are lots of twists in this. Are there any cons in this also? Well, you see, there are not really any major cons. There are some subtle cons. I'm just nitpicking here because I have to mention some cons, but nothing major here. So one thing is that climax is a bit dragged. It's actually slightly longer. It could have been slightly shorter. The author could have fastened the climax a bit. I felt it. You tend to lose your interest a bit because towards the end, uh, the story may slightly go a bit over the top. I'm not saying it's very unusual, but you will require a lot of coincidences to happen, which may happen sometimes, and that's what makes the story special. But for some people, not for all, but for some readers, that might be slightly off-putting. Not a major con, but overall, it's a great novel. I would give it 9 out of 10. I am directing 1 point simply because uh, towards the climax was a bit dragged. The climax could have been even more better. The climax is great, but it's slightly longer than what it should have been. The end game is actually a bit dragged. Nevertheless, even if you're slightly amused by mystery novels, then this is definitely the one to go. Must read it. The novel begins with a prologue that is absolutely amazing. Right out of the gate, right from the very first page, you would be into it. You will feel interested, and of course, you just have to stay patient. If you are patient, because there are going to be twists, right? There are going to be a lot of twists, and if you are patient with those twists, then I'm sure you're going to have fun, a lot of fun. I mean,